Here it is, fellas. Fallen Empires, completely sorted. Yeah, first couple of days of like sorting through stuff. I'm going with the smaller stuff because I know there's some sets that's going to take me a lot longer than just be able to fully sort for it. Just one box in a relatively short amount of time. And I don't have a lot of I might be doing something later tonight, so I want to not get myself involved in a project that would take multiple hours, like sorting through my 5 boxes of Odyssey or whatever boxes I have of it. Ooh, for a block I really didn't like that much. I really have a lot of it. Fallen Empires, I mean, as a set, yeah, it was weak. A lot of people complain that it was a horrible set. Some people say it was worse than Homelands. This is not true. I mean, they were both really flavorful sets, and they're both sets that, if you stop and think about it, have a lot of surprises in it that you don't think are there. Fallen Empires. Check this out. There are, I think, there's Goblin Churchin, Goblin Flotilla. I think that's it. There are all of 2 goblins. 2. There are 2 goblins in Fallen Empires. There's Goblin Kites, which has goblin in the name, but is not specifically a goblin enabler. You've got Goblin Wardrums. Once again, goblin in the name, not specifically a goblin enabler. And Goblin Grenade, which is redonkulous. You had a handful of dwarves, none of them were really playable. You had a handful of orcs, none of which were really playable. You saw the first appearance of the Org creature, which would, over the years pop up every now and again. It's not particularly a good card, but it was good size. I mean, it was like a 5/5 for 5 mana in red at the time for a common. That was pretty good because red wasn't known for getting really beefy commons. Red tended to top out at like 2 3s and 3 3s in the common slot. Oh, jeez. Well, actually, I don't know if Org was a common or not. It felt like a common. A lot of the cards in Fallen Empires felt like commons. They really did. There's some cards in there that aren't really completely bad, even some of the commons. I think the big problem with Fallen Empires is that they wasted a lot of space in the set by printing 3 and 4 illustrations of a lot of cards instead of giving us a better variety of cards. And at the time, they were really enthused because I believe it was Antiquities sold really well because people were going nuts looking for all the illustrations of the Urza lands or Strip Mine or Mishra's Factory, and they're like, wow, yeah, this is selling like hotcakes and people love this. Let's make a and when they were putting together Fallen Empires, they thought, hey, let's make multiple illustrations of everything. Well, not everything, but pretty damn close to it. And combined with the fact that demand for the game at the time was starting to cool off a little bit, and the fact that Fallen Empires overall was a really ho-hum set, yeah, I mean, it died. It's Fallen Empires ended up really tanking. I mean, people at time were dealers at times were selling them for the boosters for $1 or less. I mean, that's how desperate they were to try to get rid of it, because dealers over-ordered, Wizards over-printed, and the demand just wasn't there to back it up, especially seeing how small a set it was. It happens. Each color had internal conflict in it. I thought that was nice. You had dwarves versus orcs. In white, you had the Acacians versus the Feralites. Green had Thalids versus elves. Blue had Merfolk versus the Homerids. Yes, we had lobster people back in the day. Oh boy. Don't get us started. Don't get us started. Oh dear. Black had the Order of the Ebon Hand versus the Thralls, their own creation. Interesting stuff. I mean, there was actually a lot going on. You also had something that had appeared previously in the game. The concept made a comeback in Fallen Empires and was refined a little bit. The artifacts that would give a creature a bonus. In this set we had Zellan Sword and Spirit Shield, which were +2/+0 or +0/+2, depending on whether you're using the sword or the shield. They were 3-drop artifacts, 3 colors, and tap to give give target creature that ability until the artifact came untapped, and you could choose not to untap the artifact. Now, I say this, and I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking the exact same thing I'm thinking. This is prototype equipment. And it wouldn't be for several years, until Mirrodin came out that they finally perfected that idea. Also, here's another thing for you. This is a deck I'm starting to work on. I'm shy of 4 cards, not counting lands. Everything you see here is a 4 of. And I was actually able to pick out all of these cards in relatively short order, simply based on the sorting I've already done. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. So I can be able to, have a deck idea and go through this stuff and be able to say, bam, I made my deck. I had an idea, I went through my stuff, I found the cards I was looking for, I made my deck in less than 3 days. I made my deck in less than an hour. I'm serious, guys. It would take forever to find anything in here, or even things I'm short of. I mean, look over here. I mean, what took me the longest to find were these ornithopters, because I'm looking through core set stuff for them, and I found an M10, 2 M10 ornithopters, and that was all I found in my core set stuff. So then I went looking through trade binders, and specifically looking through the stuff that I got from that fellow named Draco many years ago, and I'm like, come on, Draco. I'm sure you'd have something as crazy and janky as an ornithopter sitting in a trade binder, and oh, there it is, thank you! Fortunately, I only found one, then I had to go digging through Mirrodin for this other ornithopter. Oh well, the original Mirrodin. But yeah, I'm working on this little deck. It's going to be standard legal, and I'm going through my stuff, and I found out I'm lacking preordains. I've got 4 preordains, they're in another deck. And, yeah, as you can see, this is going to be a standard legal deck. It's going to be a cute deck. We're using Knowledge Pool. The deck is going to... The only creature in here with a power greater than 0 is Memnite. He's only in here because he's a 0-drop. The deck is pretty much... has no real has no organic win condition. There's no win condition in the deck. 4 Ornithopters, 4 Memnites, 4 Go for the Throat, 4 Doomblade, 4 Foresees, 4 Monoliths, 4 Disperse, and when I get my hands on some more, 4 Preordains, and basic lands, and that's pretty much going to be it. And the deck doesn't have a win condition. I mean, theoretically, you could win by turning Memnite sideways. That's not what they're in there for, though. The whole point of this deck is I drop Knowledge Pool, and bam, my win condition is my opponent. Period. End of statement. He is my win condition. And that's the long and short of it. Well, now that I think about it, maybe I should probably replace those preordains with something else anyway, Something that's an instant and doesn't target anything. Or maybe get rid of the Foresees in favor of something that does that, Because right now the only instants I have are targeted. And unless there's I mean, granted, I'm gonna need removal. I'm gonna need control, you know. But I don't know. Maybe I should rethink it a little bit. But I really want to just get the preordains and test first. You know what I'm saying? But hey, kid science, fun stuff. Alrighty, I've talked, I've babbled. I have no idea how long this video is at this point. I'll get this all posted up. Have a good night, guys. Be safe.